May this video be a spark of light and guidance on your path. Together, we can create a chain of love that permeates all dimensions of existence.
Something with which your chemistry is gelling. If your chemistry is gelling, you are always focused on that one, isn't it? Here there's no chemistry, but you have to focus on that. For this you need a balance and a steady mind. For this you need to eat in a certain way. I will make this very simple, but if you want I can send you a full-fledged video where all of you can see for maybe 45 minutes to an hour what is food and how it works in your system, how it relates to your physiology, why food behaves the way it behaves, an entire system of it. But to put it very simply, food goes through your body through the alimentary canal. From your mouth to your anal outlet, there is a pipe. Through this it runs, going through various stages of digestive process. Many of you are biology people, right? So, it goes through the alimentary canal. Now it begins with the lip. Here, if you look at this, all the herbivores and carnivores. If you look at the animal kingdom, there are herbivores and carnivores are two main segments of animals in the world. One eats vegetable matter, another eats meat. If you look at the alimentary canal, the way it is built, between herbivores and carnivores, there's a distinct difference. Everything in the human being suggests that you are naturally a herbivore, but for the sake of survival, we became carnivores. If you look at the jaw movement, all the carnivorous animals have only cutting action. Herbivores have cutting and grinding action. There are molars, but carnivores don't have widespread molars, they have just incisors, canines, and everything looks like cutting teeth. So they do only this. All the herbivores do grinding. What do you have? Both. So you are supposed to chew your food. Why you are supposed to chew your food is you have enzymes in your saliva where if you take a little bit of raw rice and put it in your mouth just for a minute, you will see it turn sweet right here, because right here carbohydrate is being converted into sugar, right here. So if you eat properly, then we say about 30 to 50% of your digestion should happen in your mouth. So this part of the digestive system is expecting half-digested food or partially digested food. But right now the way we're eating is mostly we're putting not only undigested food, but partially destroyed food. So the amount of food that you need to get the same amount of energy has increased. You are eating much more food than what you should eat to generate that much of energy. Because of that, there is inertia in the body, because it has to process so much more food than what it should, there is inertia. Once there is inertia, your sleep quota increases. How many hours do you sleep on? Hello? 8 hours. You're going by the prescription, See, this is not that you must deny yourself sleep, that's not the point. But if you eat right and do a certain things with your body, you see very effortlessly, within 3 to 4 weeks, you can drop your sleep quota anywhere between 2 to 3 hours. 1.5 to 3 hours very easily you can drop if you just eat consciously and just learn to sit properly, just the posture, your geometry of the body and what goes into the system. If you just manage these two things, you will see sleep quota will just come down like that. Just to tell you, for over 25 years, I have largely managed with an average of 2.5 hours of sleep. Now I'm getting lazy and I'm sleeping, averaging somewhere around 4.5 hours now. But 7 days of the week, okay? 365 days, non-stop, on, almost every day. My daughter didn't call me for a month. I asked, what the hell is the problem with you? Why are you not calling? She said, every 6 hours you're in a new city, what the hell I'm supposed to do? So I said, okay, which is true. In one day, sometimes we're doing 3 cities, so it's a non-stop activity. And today, many people around me have learned to do this. Over 150 people around me are doing this kind of activity, averaging 4 hours sleep and 7 days of the week, they're on, all the time. And they are not irritated, they are not frustrated, they're joyful and they're wonderful. Why this is this? There are many aspects to this, but one important aspect is food, how you eat. Not only what you eat, how you eat is also very important, because food is a live thing. One simple thing all you girls can do is just see various health issues and inertia issue, focus issue, just bring 40 to 50% of the food in its raw form, that means it's alive. It must be a live cell, it can be a vegetable, it can be a fruit, it can be a nut, it can be sprouted gram. At least 40 to 50%, the food that you eat must be alive. You eat dead food and you want to live, this is a little difficult thing to do, because you have to raise the dead now. But if you eat live food, one thing you will see is the state of your mind, your focus and your sleep quotas, and above all, staying awake is not good enough, you have to stay alert, isn't it? How alert you are, how focused you are, only to that extent everything yields to you in this world, isn't it so? What is the level of focus will determine whether the world yields to you or not, isn't it? And one more aspect of life, one more aspect of food is, when you consume something, it must be of a simple genetic code in the sense, it must be a very simple software. Vegetables, fruits, nuts, sprouts, they're very simple. More complicated means animal food becomes more and more complicated. Suppose you eat an animal which has some amount of emotion and a life of its own. Now the code in that, we were talking about this, your body is just an accumulation of memory, which means a certain software, isn't it? This is the most complex software. Human software is the most complex software on the planet of all the creatures. From an amoeba to this is the most complex… I'm not talking about her. She's looking… yes, yes. This is the most… this is safe. This is the most complex software. So if you eat an animal, particularly a mammal, if you eat, it has a similar kind of complexity, maybe not as complex as this, similar level of complexity because it has thought and emotion of its own. Now for you to break that code and integrate it into your system, you are not fully successful, so it will leave traces of certain qualities within you. Otherwise, the best food would be eat human flesh because it's same. But you cannot break that. You cannot break that code and make it a part of yours because it's a different and complex code. If you eat a leaf, a vegetable, a fruit, a nut or a sprout, this is much simpler. If you must eat non-vegetarian food, you must eat that which is furthest away from you. So generally, fish and water life is furthest away from you. So if you must eat non-vegetarian food, the best thing to eat is you're on the coast. Fish is the best thing to eat that way.
Thank you, Sadhguru. We have a very enthusiastic audience and I'm sure they have a lot of questions to ask. So…
They're about to fall asleep, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Hello?
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. My name is Karishma Joshi and I was an Isha homeschool student.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. How come I missed you?
And when I found out you were coming to college, I was so happy. And my question to you is, in Mahabharata, we see Amba, she's so determined to take revenge on Bhishma. And she goes to Shiva and Shiva actually grants her that boon. So, why would somebody want to live their whole life just with the sole intention of taking revenge on somebody, and how would this affect them? Thank you.
Well, whether we like it or not, there are such people in the world, all right? Yes or no? Are they there or not? They are there. So Mahabharata is depicting all sorts of people. Every kind of character that can exist on the planet is there. There are over 100,000 characters representing the best, the worst, in between, every range is there. So she is one. Because, see, just now, some time ago, when she asked the question, something horrible happened to somebody, an abuse happened to somebody, and that person not willing to forget. Some will become hurt and wounded, some will become angry and vengeful, depending on their own nature and also the situation in which we exist. So she is in a royal setup. Here, vengeance is considered honor. Vengeance is not considered vengeance. Vengeance is considered as a virtue. When somebody hurts a king or a queen, they must go and finish them. Till you finish them, your job is not done. This is the culture in which she is. We must not look at it from today's time and today's culture that you are in. That time she is in a royal family, she is a princess and she is insulted. She feels horribly insulted by what happened. You know what happened to her life. Now she wants to, at any cost, extract a prize for that. So she goes for that. So she is asking Shiva, the question is why Shiva is assisting her, is that it? Is it the question? Yes. Shiva is like that only. Because, this happened to him. Once Ravana, you heard of Ravana? Ravana came to Shiva and worshipped him and praised him and glory. So he loved him so much and he said, you ask whatever you want, I'll give you. And that guy says, I want your wife. Shiva is in a mood like that, he says, okay, take her. Parvati is having a bath in the Manasarovar close by, and this guy goes looking for Parvati to take her home. Then somebody goes and tells her, Shiva has granted permission that this man who's come from somewhere in the south, he can take you and go with him. He said, yes, he lost his mind. Then, you have heard of these things. Have you been kissing frogs? No. You don't believe that story? No. This started a long time ago. So Parvati took a frog and made this frog into a beautiful young woman and left her in a lake adjacent to Manasarovar, which is today called as Rakshasthal. So Ravana went straight to Rakshasthal and saw this young woman. He thought, she is Parvati, took her and went home. Then he realized she has come out of a frog. But she was Mandodari, that's why she's called Mandodari, one who came out of a frog. But she was beautiful and wonderful woman, so she became his queen and stayed there. But his thing about wanting to take somebody's wife again took him to Ayodhya, you know. You know all the trouble, that's another matter. But you must understand this, that which you are referring to as the highest or the divine cannot be discriminatory, isn't it? Hello? If God says, whoever the God is, if he says, I'm responsible for these people, I'm not responsible for those people, is he fired or no? Hello? Fired or no? Because essentially, it is a response, a limitless response. When something responds to everybody, if their thing is right, then we say this is divine. It only responds to me, not to you. This is not divine, this is my party, isn't it? Hello? So when Ravana, as a great devotee, he worshipped him, he said, ask whatever you want, but that guy should have civilization. But he has nothing like that. He says, I want your wife. He says, okay, take her and go. So in that context, she burns in front of Shiva and says she is doing austerities after austerities, putting herself to extreme difficulties and says, all I want is to kill this man, give me the power. He said, okay, have it. But this does not mean it'll lead to your well-being. See what happened to Ravana. The same. A man was driving in Mexico and he ran out of gas. Then he walked and there he saw a local monastery where monks were living with very meager resources. He said, "My car is run out of gas, do something." So the monk said, "See, we don't have anything else here, we don't have cars, we don't have gas, but I can give you a mule. You ride on the mule to the next town and then you can get gas there and come back. Only thing is, we have trained the mules like this, you sit on it, you don't beat it, you don't do all that, you just say, praise the Lord, it will go. When you want it to stop, you say, Amen, it will stop." So he sat on it and said, "Praise the Lord." It went and went and went, the whole day it travelled. Then he saw the mule was going straight towards a cliff edge. He wants to stop it, he's doing this, that, but he's forgotten the mantra. He tried everything, but the mule is just going straight to the edge of the cliff. It came right here, about to take its next step. Then he remembered and said, Amen. It stopped. He looked down 2,000 feet below. Oh my God, praise the Lord. This happens, you know. Anybody, please take the microphone.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Pritika. I'm a grade 12 student. So we're studying and living in this very overly competitive world where everybody wants to be the best. And sometimes I find a difficulty in deciding what the right path is for me. Because even though I may be good at, say, dancing or singing, there's always somebody who's better than me. So my question to you is, how do we find the motivation… How do we find the motivation to do something that we like for the sole purpose of being happy ourselves instead of following the society's demands to, be the best at what we do? Thank you.
Now, this ailment has caught us quite a bit. We don't want to be the best, really, if you really look at it, because you don't know what is the best. Does somebody know what is the best? Hello? Do we ever know what is the best? We don't know. All we want is, we want to be better than the person who is sitting next to us. This is a disease, because what you're enjoying in your life is not what you have. You enjoy what she doesn't have. She's number two. That's the only joy you have. When you enjoy something that other people do not have, or when you enjoy other people's suffering, when other people's suffering is the source of joy for you, I think it's sickness, not joy. Hello? Yes or no? It amounts to sickness or no? But right now, this sickness has caught all of us. Right from an early age, they're teaching you this. At home, they told you, you must be first rank. You never asked, what about the other children? I asked my mother this, she thought I've gone crazy. I asked, what about the other kids if I come first? She said, this boy is crazy, because she's repeating what was told to her by somebody else. So if I come first, what about the other children? It doesn't matter. You must sit on top of everybody's heads, only then life will happen. No. If your joy comes from the source of other people's suffering, it will not lead to well-being, either your well-being or the world's well-being, isn't it? So why do you want to be the best? What is important is, this life should find full expression. Everything that this one has should come out of this in this life. This should not go unfulfilled. Whether it's better than that one or not is not even the issue. And every human being, have you seen one more person just like you? How fortunate, see? There isn't another human being like you, because one more person like you on the planet would be trouble, huh? Too much. One is too much, isn't it? 2 like you, 10 like you would be impossible. So, nobody is like you. The important thing is, will you unfold all the possibilities that you hold within yourself? This is all the concern should be. But right now our systems are created like this all the time, who is first, who is best. all this rubbish. Well, competition is okay for short term. You want to run a race, okay, who's going to win? That's fine. But life is not a race. If life becomes a race, and if you want to win, you must hit the finish line first, isn't it? What does it mean? You want to hit the finish line today? No. So you better not win, you'd better not be the best. So don't make life into your race. Limited sport we will play here and there, where we race with each other, just to test our grit, all right? Huh? You and me are going to race right now. Now we will race like our life depends on it for a short period of time. But if you make your entire life into your race, and if you win, you're gone. No, not a good way to do life. So you don't have to be the best, you just have to be the best that you can be. Everything that you can be must happen. You don't have to be better than somebody else ever, it's not necessary. And nobody can be, because every one of you is a unique being. When you're unique, is that better? Or you're one up on somebody, is that better? You are unique.
Namaskar. Before I begin, may I request you to ask 2 questions?
Yes, sir.
Before that, I love you so much.
Oh, oh, he just broke my heart.
Sadhguru, my first question is, I'm not able to pull out myself from the grief. Like, whenever I see a child begging on the street, girl or a boy, my conscience just keeps biting me like, you are not doing this for them, you are not doing that for them. So, then I talk to myself saying that if I could earn unlimited, I could do so many things for them. So I don't know how to get out of this feeling. Whenever I see, I just, my legs start walking towards them. And I just spoil the mood for myself. So how to be practical, like it's too much of emotion which is disturbing me.
See, there is an unfortunate reality in the world, particularly in our country, where many people have not eaten properly. A lot of children still go to bed without food in their stomach. This is a reality. But today, there is some encouraging news, because United Nations has made a study and shows in the last decade, that is from 2006 to 2016, they made a study and they said about 270 million people in the country have come out of the poverty line in the last 10 years rather, in the last decade. It's a fantastic news, isn't it? You're not saying anything, huh? In this country, where over 1.4 million children were dying of malnutrition before they become 5 years of age, has come down by nearly 430,000. Still 970,000 are dying, but we must celebrate the success, very important. Because everything needs a momentum, success needs a momentum. If you grieve over things which are bad, you will give momentum to those things which are bad. You must give momentum to those things which are solution. Don't give momentum to the problems, give momentum to the solutions that are happening. And the choice that you and me have is just this: do we want to be a part of the problem or do you want to be a part of the solution? This is all the choice we have. Now, let us say 10 people are miserable here. More than 10 faces are looking miserable. Let us say 10 people are miserable here, and because I see these 10 faces, I will also become miserable. Have I solved something or have I added to the problem? Added to the problem, now there are 11 miserable people. So it's very, very important that if we want solutions, we must go beyond our natural, reactive emotions that we have towards various things and look beyond that and see what is the solution. For that solution, we must strive continuously. Will the solutions happen immediately? No. Maybe it'll not happen in our lifetime. But are we a part of the solution? Always are we a part of the solution? Will all of you young girls take this stand in your life? You will always be a part of the solution. Hello? Always. No matter in what situation you are, whatever the situation of your life, it could be personal, it could be social, it could be national, you are always a part of the solution. You will not take sides with problems. Hello? This one thing you take in your life, you will see, you will know the joy of unfolding all your capacity. When you're part of the problem, your possibilities will not come out. When you're part of the solution, you will do things that you never imagined you could do in your life, simply because you will unfold into that possibility. So just become part of the solution. This does not mean you are the solution, no. Because there are people busy always creating new problems. If you solve one problem, they create a new problem. This happened. Can I tell you a joke? You all right? You're not too serious for that? No. A woman in Tennessee, our center in the United States is in Tennessee. So, a woman in Tennessee was marrying for the 5th time. So she was just a day away from marriage, she was having dinner with her fiancé. And she served him mushroom soup. And he took in a spoon and nice candlelight and romantic and everything. Then he asked, "How did your first husband die?" She said, "Well, he ate poison mushrooms and died." Picture? "How did your second husband die?" "Oh, he also ate poison mushrooms and died." Now he kept the spoon there. "But how did the third one die?" "Oh, in fact, he also ate poison mushrooms and died." Now he got terrified. He asked, "How did your fourth husband die?" "Well, he died of a broken neck because he refused to eat poison mushrooms." So what do you want to have? Let's be part of the solution. We are not the solution on this planet. We are part of the solution. We are adding to the solution, we're giving energy and strength to the solution, that's all. Will we solve everything? No. But we must have the fulfillment in our life that we have been a part of the solution, not part of the problem. How did you fall in love with me? Social media love, is it?
Good afternoon, Sadhguru. My name is Sonia Alphonse. My question to you is, I personally feel that I function more efficiently in the night than I do in the day. It's not that I've changed my biological clock or something and I sleep during the day, but it's just that I feel more productive, not only while studying, but otherwise. I feel invigorated in the night. So why is it so?
Maybe you're in the wrong country, huh? There are 3 types of people who do not sleep in the night. A rogi will not sleep in the night. A rogi means a sick person because he cannot sleep. A bogi will not sleep in the night. A pleasure seeker will not sleep in the night because night is conducive for him, for his kind of business. A yogi also will not sleep in the night because for him also night is very conducive. Which one are you? You can decide, I don't want to say anything about it. Why night is? See, light, we value light because our visual apparatus are made in a certain way. See, that man has an eye in his hand also. Yes, because we value our visual apparatus so much, we thought two is not enough, three should come. Normally here, but if somebody got it here, what to do? Wrong place, but at least you can close it and open it. But we value our visual apparatus so much simply because they designed in such a way that only in light you can see. What light does to you is, it makes everything distinct. See now, because it is lit, I can see this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. Suppose lights went off and this became dark, I just see a mass of people. I don't see this person, this person, this person. So there is a certain sense of lack of boundaries in the night. So for yoga, for sexuality, for friendship, for being together, for study, for focus, for all these things, night seems to be more conducive because the difference between what is you and what is the other comes down in the night simply because our visual apparatus function like this. Where there is no light, everything merges in our experience. So a yogi, a bogi and a rogi, all three of them make use of the night. You can also make use of it, there's no problem unless you're sleeping in the classroom. If you're not sleeping in the classroom, it's fine, nothing wrong with it. But you will see, you try this and see, mornings are a nuisance. But, can I share something? I was made like this. If I sleep in the morning, normally my school used to be 8:30 in the morning, from 6:45 my mother and my sisters will start waking me up. It's a series of efforts. Many things, they'll make me sit up in the bed, they'll come and twist my arm and do this and this. My mother will do it gently, my sisters will do that. Then they will drag me and my mother will put toothpaste on the toothbrush and give it to me, I'll stick it in my mouth. She'll get me my clothes and say, go and have shower, it's time up, time up. I go inside the bathroom and fall asleep. If nobody wakes me up, till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll just sleep like a rock, not wake up and roll around, simply dead. But I started practicing yoga at the age of 12. In about maybe 8 to 9 months, after that, no matter where I am, even till this day, where I am, which time zone I am, every day I'm in a different time zone, but at 3:30
So Sadhguru, I love tattoos. I have a lot of tattoos. and I'm sure a lot of people in this room do. So when I got my first tattoo, there was a lot of clash of opinion between me and my parents. We fought a lot. Like, why did you get this? So my question to you is getting a tattoo something which looks unprofessional? Or is it something which lacks gravitas? Or why? Why is this clash of opinion?
Well, the question is, at different times in your life, different things may mean a lot to you. At that moment, if you have yourself marked permanently, and today in United States, tattoo removal is a huge business, it's a bigger business than tattoo, all right? Because, you know, when they were in college, they fell in love, they wrote your name all over the arm, and then it's over, then rubbing it off, you have to peel your skin. So, maybe it's better you wait before you tattoo yourself all over the place to something that matters to you. If you want to write it on your forehead, it better be something that matters to you for the rest of your life. Because after 1 or 2 years, if it falls off, then you'll have to peel your skin. Plus, also, see, everything that you are need not be written on your face. When you want to do work in the world, when you want to do things in the world, it's not necessary everything that you are is all up front. You must have what to expose to whom, isn't it? So if your tattoo is already saying, what you are, your philosophy and everything is written, so we know who you are the moment you enter. If you're wanting to live a very simplistic life, it's okay. If you're looking for a more complex involvement in life, it's better people are not able to mark you in any particular way. Shall I tell you my experience with tattoos? No, I don't have any. I'm too dark for the tattoos, what to do? Is there a white color tattoo?
There is a white color.
Okay. I was… we've been working in the prisons, both in India and United States. This movement is called Inner Freedom for the Imprisoned. It's a very touching movement. So when I was in Kentucky Correction Center, it's a high-security prison, there was one guy who's a tattoo maker. He makes tattoos. So I was doing a 10-day program there for these prisoners, so they got really pally with me. Then they revealed, I said, where do you get these tattoos? Within the prison. Everything is searched, okay? Even from your body orifices, everything is searched so that nothing goes in. But somehow this guy tattoos everybody at a tremendous price, okay? And he showed me all his tricks, how he tattoos. He breaks off one little thing off the fork and sharpens it and sharpens it, makes it into a needle. Anything little plastic he gets, bits and pieces of plastic he gathers, melts it out, and different colors. You should see the prisoners, they're tattooed from head to toe. This decides which gang they belong to. It's like a particular type of tattoo means you belong to this group. Wherever they go in their this thing, they have a lingo that this is where you belong. And it also tells them what grade of criminal are you. Are you really high grade or low grade criminal? Literally entire torso is always tattooed for most of them, and this is the guy who does it. And all these people, they have made this thing that they owe him. When they leave the prison, if they ever go back, they owe him how much it is, thousands of dollars they owe this guy. He's keeping accounts of all that, writing it on his arm. Accounts. So, it was an incredible thing to see. I told him, you show it how you do. Well, the guards were there, he said, I cannot show it, but he explained to me how he does it. It's just ingenious. Within the prison, what he is doing with these tattoos. If you really want to get a good tattoo, Kentucky. There are no subtractions and divisions in our mind. There is only addition and multiplication. I will just remove negative thoughts and I will have positive thoughts. All the best, it's not going to work. It's just that you need to pay little attention as to how it functions. You will see there is a distinction between what is you and what you have gathered. Well, see the way the question is asked and also the way normally it's addressed is, people think there is something called as negative thought and positive thought. They want to remove the negative thoughts and have only positive thoughts. For such people, I would ask them to just experiment for 10-15 seconds. Let them forcefully remove one thought from their mind. For example, next 10 seconds, just don't think of a monkey. Try not to think of a monkey for next 10 seconds. You will see you will be full of monkeys. So what I'm saying is, this is the nature of your mind, because in this mind, all the three pedals are throttle. There is no brake, there is no clutch. Whatever you touch, it will only go faster. In this kind of mind, people have been taught from moral teachers and religious teachers, do not think about bad things. Well, since then it's been a full-time job. So there is no way you can handle the mind like this. This doesn't need any great enlightenment. If you spend 2 minutes with your eyes closed, you will realize you cannot do anything forcefully with this mind. So, I want to remove negative thoughts. Do not ever go in this direction, because what you want to remove will become your quality. Always you will be on it. So what should I do? The thing is this, without understanding the fundamental mechanism of this mind, because our mind, human mind, is the most sophisticated computer on the planet. Even all the supercomputers have come out of this. When this is the case, is it not important that we understand the mechanics of how it functions? One simplistic aspect of how it functions is, there are no subtractions and divisions in our mind. There is only addition and multiplication. If you try to do something with it, it will say one more. If you try hard, it will multiply into many more. In this mind, you don't try to identify what is positive, what is negative and try to remove it. First of all, one needs to understand, this mind of yours, this body of yours is supposed to serve you. The life that you are is important. Body and mind are vehicles that must serve us. If you sit in a vehicle, it must go where you want to go. If it goes to its own destination, what is the point of such a vehicle? It's just a nuisance. Right now, most human beings are unfortunately experiencing this fantastic possibility of human mind as a nuisance, as a troublesome thing. Well, this is the most beautiful thing you have. It's just that you need to pay little attention as to how it functions. One simple thing is this. First and foremost process is, that's why we put out this process called Isha Kriya. This is to distance yourself from your physiological and psychological process. There is something called as you which exists. This is not a composite of all your thoughts and emotions and physiological processes. Beyond that, there is you. If you close your eyes, even if you cannot see anything, you're still there. It is through the window of your eyes that you're looking out, but if you close your eyes, it doesn't mean that you don't exist, you still exist. So beyond your thought, you still exist, beyond your emotion, you still exist. So that you, the life that you are, this has to come into your experience. Why is it that you're not allowing that to come into your experience, which is the most significant aspect of who you are? Who you are right now, the most significant aspect is, you and me are alive right now, this is it. What I'm thinking, what you're thinking is not the important thing. We are alive right now, that is the important thing. So, it is important that you focus on this fundamental sense of aliveness within you, and then you will see there is a natural distance between you and your thought process. Once there is a distance between your psychological process and your physiological…
How can you avoid angry?
See, if you're driving on the Coimbatore streets, you have to avoid the medians which are placed in odd places. You have to avoid bad drivers. You have to avoid drunken men crossing the street, children crossing the street, all kinds of things. But when you're driving on Coimbatore street, do you have to avoid the moon? I'm asking, do you have to avoid the moon? No, because the moon is not on the street, isn't it? So similarly, right now are you angry? No? Then why should you avoid it? There's no need to avoid it. It is just that you think anger is an entity. Anger is not an entity. You become angry. You become angry. Anger is not sitting somewhere and you go hit it. There is no such thing. You become angry. When you become angry, is it pleasant for you or unpleasant for you? Unpleasant for you. Unpleasant for others for sure, unpleasant for yourself also. Today, medical science proves to you, when you're angry, you're actually poisoning your system, you know. We have always known this, but today chemical tests clearly show you that you're actually poisoning your system, generating poison in the system by being angry. So, why would you want to poison yourself? It is not a conscious act. You're poisoning yourself, you're causing unpleasantness to yourself only because your mind is not taking instructions from you, isn't it? It is not taking instructions from you. If it was taking instructions from you, you would have said blissfulness, isn't it? You wouldn't say anger. But now when you want to be peaceful, it is getting angry because it is not taking instructions from you. So if your mind is not taking instructions from you, you have to pay a little more attention to it. Why is it not taking instructions from you? If you understand this, you don't have to avoid anger, because anger is not sitting there and getting at you. You are becoming angry, you are becoming unhappy, you are becoming miserable. These things are happening to you essentially because you have not done anything to take your faculties under your control. It is happening accidentally, just by chance. If outside situations are good, you are also good. If outside situations are bad, you're also bad. That is not how human life should be. Human life should be like this. If I am good, everything around me becomes good. This should be the reality, isn't it? Right now, if things around me are whichever way, I will become that way. No. Human consciousness should create situations. Right now, situations are creating human consciousness. That's not the right way to shape human life. He said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. If you want, consciously you can evolve in this evening. There is no limit as to how a human being can become. This is something that every human being must do. Then coming together will be hugely rewarding. When Gautama, the Buddha, was asked, is it better to walk alone or in company? He said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. Well, that's him, not me. He was quite sure that only a fool will walk with you. So he said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. Certain lore in this country says, when you want to do a short and quick journey, walk alone. When you want to do a long journey, walk in company. But the important thing is, who is walking with you? Not always being together is a good thing. Many times, being together can be a nuisance. So, first and foremost, unless you are a twin, even then, we come alone and we go alone. If one does not know how to be by himself or herself, then being together can be a lot of nuisance. We are referred to as human beings. Human beings means every other creature is what it is simply because of what it does. But a human being can simply be, which is a unique quality of the human being, that we can simply be, that we are not compulsive action, that's what it means. Our action is conscious and judicious. But generally, when people get together, generally, people are in compulsive action. It can be an association where there could be a purposeful action, or it can be a gang where there can be more purposeful action, or it can be a crowd which can be a compulsive action. So essentially, to be human means we have reached that point of evolution within ourselves that if we wish, we can simply sit here, just be. We can consider as to what action to take and what not to take. This is definitely individual. When individuals come together, we say, it's we in plural, but still it is individuals who have to come together. To be an individual means you are not further divisible. That means you're just one. People find different ways to divide themselves within themselves. In India, with 10,000 years of cultural history, we have invented various words to divide ourselves. It's very common for people to talk in terms of Atma, Paramatma, Ahankara, this one and that one. But every culture has this in their own way. When things are going right, when good things are being done, if you ask people, they say, yes, I did it. When things don't go right, when things go wrong, then they will try to find somebody. If they don't find anybody, he is always there. When they are very wonderful, of course they take pride in being how wonderful they are. When they turn nasty, they say, it was my ego. Mr. Ego is always a fall guy. So individual means, but if I'm wonderful, it's me. If I'm nasty, it's me. All of you. Are you 24 hours wonderful? Hello? Are you 24 hours wonderful? No, sometimes wonderful, sometimes nasty, sometimes beautiful, sometimes ugly. It's okay. If we understand it is me who is capable of being absolutely wonderful and it is me who is capable of being absolutely nasty another moment, then gradually the number of moments of nastiness will keep on receding. If I see what is wonderful is me, what is nasty is… In India we have many words, it's my karma, what can I do? Now, you must fix this. Being an individual is very important, that means you're not further divisible. If I'm wonderful, it's me, if I'm nasty, it's me. If I succeed, it's me, if I fail, it's me. You have to fix this. I'm just asking you a simple question. Within this, how many people? Hello? How many people within you? 1, 2, only one. If you're one, you're a normal human being. If you're more than one, you're either schizophrenic or you're possessed. You either need a psychiatrist or an exorcist. But you will see whenever things don't go right, another guy will pop up from somewhere. So, becoming an individual means you killed all those pop-ups and just said, this is me. This what is me has many dimensions. If I don't see this is an individual, I cannot divide this further, then transformation will not happen. If transformation does not happen, if people come together in that state, there will be more mess than solutions. All creatures hang out together. Whether it is various wild creatures, most of them hang out together. Even monkeys who are just one step behind us, they are also in bunches. It is only human being who can sit alone and transform himself or herself, because this is the prerogative of being human, that we can simply be. This is why you are called human being, you're capable of being. You're not in a compulsive state of activity. If you want, consciously you can evolve. In this evening you can evolve, if you're willing. It doesn't take 1,000,000 years, because our evolution is not biological anymore, our evolution is conscious. For every other creature, it is fixed. Nature has fixed 2 lines within which every other creature lives and goes. But once you have come as a human being, there is only bottom line, there is no top line. There is no limit as to how a human being can become. So before we associate ourselves with people, it'll be good every day in the morning or a certain period of your life, if one withdraws to spend a little time with oneself and see How? In what ways can this be little better than the way it was yesterday? This life, how it can be a little better life than what it was yesterday? Because most people are coming together for their needs. To fulfill needs, people come together. Some people come together to fulfill a purpose or a cause. Some people come together to eat, drink and be together because they cannot be alone. This is something that every human being must do. A certain period of time, you do one thing, just 24 hours, take a break from everything, not today, right now you're among people. You take a break sometime, just 24 hours. And don't read, don't watch television, don't use the phone. Simply sit in your room, alert, not sleeping. And if you watch the nature of your mind, you yourself will certify, this is a madman. Because for most people, their mind cannot stay on any one thing. Unless they're in activity, simply they cannot be here. In compulsive state of psychological activity is on. When you are like this, you cannot be. That means you cannot be a human being. Being has to happen. Only then togetherness will be very rich. If you know how to be by yourself, then coming together will be hugely rewarding and of tremendous value. That means we came together consciously. Policy for the country, we are working on it. It may take another year and a half before we really come up with this. Because I live my life out of my experience, and my experience of education was just ridiculous. The sisters… No, I'm acknowledging them because I am also a Carmelite. One year, on my second standard, I was in the Christ the King convent, and in my seventh standard, I was in my Nirmala convent. No school would keep me for more than 1 year. Because I never understood, why the hell am I going to the school? Nobody explained to me. It's very… please, whatever I say, please, I want you to listen to this carefully because it could be misunderstood completely. Because when I was 4.5 years of age, one thing struck me, that suddenly I did not know anything. I do not know anything means I do not know anything at all. If somebody gives me a glass of water, I do not know what is water. Well, I know I can drink it, I can use it, I know how to use it, but I don't know what it is. So I keep staring at the water for hours on end. Well, actually the fact is, even today you don't know what is water, if you really look at it. We know how to use it, we know how to destroy it, but we don't know how to… what it is really. With all this scientific exploration, we do not know one single atom in its entirety. We know how to break it, fuse it, make a bomb out of it, all these things we know, but we don't know what it is. So if I found a blade of grass, I'm just staring at it for hours. If I sit up in the night in the bed, I'm simply staring in the darkness. My dear father, being a physician, started thinking that I need psychiatric evaluation. You're just too late. My problem was, I look at this and I don't know what this is. They're asking me to look at that. I just cannot shift my attention, I'm just looking at this. In this condition, they sent me to school. My mother said, don't look here and there, pay attention to the teacher. I went and looked at the teacher. absolute attention to the teacher, the kind of attention they'd never received in their life. Many things happened in this, I don't want to go into the detail. When about 9 years ago, this school where I studied for a couple of years, that's the only school where I stayed for 2 years. So they came to invite me for their 125th anniversary. I said, see, why me? I was not just a not good student, I was not even a student. Because I didn't have a textbook, I didn't have a notebook, I just went. I just had a bicycle. I thought it was good enough. So, I said, why me? Please, I am not a good example for the students. They said, no, no, our school has produced union ministers, our school has produced cricketing stars, film stars, you are the only mystic, you have to come. So I went. So I went and sat there in the quadrangle, the same oppressive buildings, and no, this is my experience, I'm saying. And suddenly I looked at this particular classroom and I remembered, I was 12 years of age. One afternoon, these are times when I don't speak for many days, because when you don't know anything what to say. I'm still trying to drink in the creation around me, I'm paying attention to the leaf, to the… everything. Man, woman, child, animal, plant, anything. I'm just paying attention to everything, I still not figured out a thing. So there's nothing much to say, so I don't speak. So at one point, my father put me through speech and hearing test, thinking I cannot speak. This is the problem of a physician. Then that afternoon, the teacher is trying to get some response from me. After about 35–40 minutes, I'm just looking at him. I don't even hear what he's saying. I know this man's past, present and future, but I don't hear the question. After 35–40 minutes, he got so frustrated and angry with me. He came and held me by the shoulder, shook me like this violently and said, you must either be the divine or the devil. I think you're the later. I didn't feel insulted or abused, I just thought about this. Because till then, I did not know what is this, what is this, what is that, what is that. Everything is a question mark, the entire universe. But I knew one thing, this is me. This guy confused me about that also. I just looked like this. Is this divine, is this devil? What the hell is this? I tried to stare, it didn't work, then I started closing my eyes and sitting. This is how my journey started, because I am trying to figure out what the hell is this, because till now I had one assurance, this is me. Suddenly he confused me about this also. Why I'm telling you this is, see, we have set up education factories to feed for other factories, larger factories. You must all understand, day in and day out when everybody talks economy, 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 you must understand you are just raw material. You're not human beings. That's where we're driving the world, entire world. When economy is the most important thing, this is how you will run the education. There is no time for any tenderness, there is no time for any nurturing, there is no time for anything, because everybody has to pass at a certain age and get into the job and make money, and then in the end, I don't know what, they'll relax in the end when they're 75. So this has to change, but for this to change, we have been in 15, 20 generations of poverty in this country. Your parents have relaxed a little bit. My time, our parents were so hyper about how will you earn a living, how will you earn a living. I said, why are you bothered about how do I earn a living? Tell me when you don't want to feed me, I'll just go somewhere. I'm capable of getting my food. And I have no problem of wanting to live like somebody else. I'm not bothered what somebody else has. I know I will never go hungry, I will find my food somehow. I went into the jungle and stayed for 3 weeks by myself, And I managed to survive off the jungle. So I knew if nothing works, I'll go into Western Ghats. So why I'm saying this is, we become too overly concerned about survival process. For the society to relax a little bit, I think economic development is needed. See, these two things are like this. If economic development is much more and there is ease, that if you… let's say you don't pass your examination, you won't fall on the street and get lost. If that assurance is there, everybody will relax a little bit, feet off the throttle a little bit will happen. So right now we created three different dimensions of education. One form of education is just for rural India, because for them it's economic. For them to get out of that economic and social pit in which they are, a certain type of education. Another form of education for those parents who are reasonably affluent, who want their children to be exposed to a variety of things. Here at least 50% of the time is dedicated to art, music, theatre, like this, and the school is created like a museum, almost. So children live here in a completely different way. And we have another school which you saw the girls dancing. From the age of 6 to 18, there is no academics for them. They learn only classical dance, classical music, Kalaripaitu, which is the mother of all martial arts, yoga, Sanskrit language and English language. This is all they learn. They don't go to any academic stuff. They go through 12 to 15 years of very severe training. You saw the girls dancing, but you don't know their fitness. If you ask them to just climb up here, they will just find their way up. They're like that. Physically, the main focus is to grow the body and the brain to its fullest without any intent. See, the problem is at the age of 3, people like to hear their sweet little girls say, "What will you become?" "I'll become doctor." At the age of 3. So from the age of 3, you're wishing lot of people will be sick in the world. I'm saying it's a completely wrong way of nurturing. Raising children or bringing up human beings is like raising a garden. It's not a factory. In one extruder, everybody goes, but that's not going to change in a hurry. So you need to learn how to make the factory feel like a garden a little bit, because in your time, it's not going to change. By the time you get out of education, it will… if we start the process now and invest heavily, it may change slowly in the next 20, 25 years. That's how it is. Because changing the education system, in thought we can change it, on paper we can change it. Putting it down there, training the necessary people, creating the infrastructure, this is not going to happen. And also we need to reduce our population a little bit. Otherwise, it's very difficult to provide good education for everybody.
So there is, since we're talking about education and the Indian education system…
Are the people in the upper region still awake and on? Quiet there, so…
Okay, since we're talking about the Indian education system, one of the main questions that actually came to us, was, is attendance… is education all about attendance? Because somewhere… Yeah, they're awake now. Somewhere, no one wakes up in the morning to say, "Oh, I'm going to learn something new today."
She wants to become a star in the college.
So, everyone, I think, gets up saying, "Oh, I don't have attendance, dude. I think I need to attend this class. Oh, I have 85 in that, so maybe I can miss one class." I think many of the students here, they don't like maths, but when it comes to calculating the amount of percentage that is required, they're so good at it. I think even Anisha has a question when it comes to motivation and drive as such, especially in college. Yeah. So my main question is, how do we shift that into more of a learning objective than making attendance so dominant in this education system?
I don't want to share my experience of attendance.
What happens with the student body at large is the drive to learn or the drive to acquire knowledge has died down somewhere. So I think this is a question from the student government itself, because we as an organization, as an institution, I think…
You're trying to win the next election also.
Won it already. So what happens with a lot of the students in college is we provide them with all of the avenues that they possibly could ask for. The best associations, the best teachers, the best outlook, the best reach, opportunity, name it, and we've given it at some level. But the drive to get them to actually do it, or the drive to get ourselves to actually pick ourselves by the feet and say, this is what I want to do, I want to make use the whole potential of what I've been given. How do we accomplish that? Because I think there's a stage of stagnation. We hit a plateau by third year and we've declined. So how to overcome that stagnation?
See, as you have been pointing out, as students everywhere, and it's not that teachers and establishment doesn't know about it, they also know. One thing is the massive size of the student body. It's not a small number to experiment and change this and that, it's massive. And if you make any changes, the loopholes that arise in the new system, everybody will exploit the loophole. So, people are averse to change because of this, which is not the right way to approach. But the pressures of running an educational institution, I also know how it is. Talking about attendance, see, I raise my girl with very little interference with what she's doing. So she traveled with me. I was traveling across India, driving myself all the time. So she started traveling with me when she was 3.5 months of age. I just held her down in the front seat, strapped, and drove. Always my right leg is heavy, you know. So she grew up like this in various homes, and her exposure to people was tremendous. By the time she's 18 months of age, she's fluently speaking 3 languages. But I made it very clear to everybody, nobody will teach her anything. Do not teach her ABC, Mary had a little lamb. I don't care whether Mary had a lamb or not. So, I made one rule, you can play with her, you can do whatever, nobody is going to teach her 1, 2, 3, ABC, nothing. No rhymes, no nothing. Well, she picked up some cinema tunes, this and that, like Sounds of Isha singing, she picked up those tunes by herself, but nobody taught her anything. Then I thought I'll never send her to school, she can just be with me, but one big problem is you cannot provide that age group company, which is very important. She may become my age when she is still 10, 12. So I sent her to a school which is most relaxed without too many restrictions. When she was 12, 13 years of age, one day she came to me. Something that happened in the school upset her emotionally, and she came to me and she said, "You're teaching everybody so many things, you don't tell me anything." I said, "See, I don't teach anything to anybody unsolicited. Now that you've come, we can talk, I think." I said, "This is all you have to know. Never look up to anybody." She looked at me like this. I said, "Even me?" "Because if you look up to me, you will miss the value of who I am. Maybe you'll hang me on the wall and nail me to the wall and smoke me out of your house with incense. But you will miss the value of who I am, you have to look at me for who I am. So don't look up to anybody, don't look down on anybody. This is all… Just think through this. Because all human beings have fixed it, something is good, something is bad, something is high, something is low, something is superior, something is inferior. In this state, there's no education, if you ask me. Only misuse of knowledge. So this is all you have to know, never look up to anything, never look down on anything. You will become absolutely present and very human, full-fledged human. And if you become an overflowing humanity, your learning possibilities, your perception will blow up like that. That's what we need to do, but how to do it, they were telling me in these premises there are 10,000 girls. How to do it with 10,000 girls? It's tough. Okay, we will limit it to only 2,000 girls, then there will be strike outside on the street. Why are you not giving us admission? So this is a situation which can't be just fixed simply because somebody changed their mind, you can't fix it. There is a very complex reality there. So for yourself, we can do this, maybe, I don't know, from the student union or from the teacher's side. If we can identify responsible students, responsible need not necessarily mean obedient. Responsible need not necessarily mean they're getting 98 marks in where they should only get 60. So, responsible is different. All I'm saying is, if all of you girls assure the management that our time in the college don't compel us to just necessarily sit in the class, but these 7 or 8 hours we have, we will stay focused on something. We will not sit here and there gossiping, we'll focus on something. If education is a focused time, it doesn't matter what you focus on. Who knows, you may be science, suddenly you may become a better psychiatrist than her, psychologist than her, or she may be psychology, she may just pick up something else. Because choices are made considering so many things at a certain time that may not be your genuine aptitude. See, there is a certain genius in every human being. Home situation and school situation must fundamentally focus on how to unfold that genius. Unless you create that atmosphere of incubation, it will not flower. Believe me, 99% of the human beings on this planet live and die without ever touching the inner genius that they hold within themselves. It is not just about them, what a loss to humanity. This is why the same stupid things are being debated for thousands of years, because human genius doesn't open, bunch of idiots. Yes, talking the same damn things forever as if it's something else. What every other creature with a millionth of your brain knows, human being is struggling to figure out. What a grasshopper knows, you're struggling to figure it out. This is not fair. Hello? This is not fair to humanity. I want a higher opinion. Hello, all of you.
So another topic that is like very sensitive, but it's not talked about as much, is casual relationships that exist in this nice age group that we're in. So yeah, I'm just going to say good things about us. So people engage in physical relationships today, and what they lack is a lot of emotions. And we want to know if it's opinion, I mean your opinion on it, and whether people do it by choice. Is it healthy? Is it, you know, what to make of it?
Can I tell you a joke? There was one Mrs. Bhatia. No Bhatias? I could change the name. There was one Mrs. Bhatia who was having her 50th wedding anniversary. They had a wedding anniversary, and the next day she filed for divorce. The judge saw the divorce petition. He was also a good family friend. So he called her and he said, "Why you want to divorce your husband? He's such a sweet little thing. Why do you want to divorce him? On what grounds you want to divorce him?" She said, "He's not been faithful to me. He's been cheating me." How do you come to this conclusion? Just yesterday you had your 50th wedding anniversary, you were fine yesterday, how do you conclude this? I got little nostalgic and started flipping through the photo album. Then I saw none of my 5 children resemble him. So so right now, do you do you remember how your great-great-great-great-great-grandmother 10 generations ago looked like? You don't. But her nose is sitting on your face right now. Your body remembers, yes or no? Yes. Your body remembers even the skin tone of your forefathers 1,000,000 years ago, it still remembers, not forgotten. So what you're calling as my body is an enormous amount of memory, isn't it? What you carry in your brain as memory is minuscule. What you carry in your body, there is evolutionary memory, there is genetic memory, there is karmic memory, there are articulate and inarticulate levels of memory. There is so much memory. You think you know how to walk right now, please understand, only because your body has built up that memory. If your body forgets, you won't be able to walk. So, the amount of memory for every simple thing that you do, you know what to eat, what not to eat, how to eat, you must put it in your mouth, not in your ears. This may look funny, but you would not know if you don't remember. So your body is a repository of tremendous amount of memory and it's picking up all the time. If you walk from here to here, there may be 50 different kinds of mild smells. You may not consciously notice, but the body is picking it up and it recognizes. All the time it's recognizing, that's how you know what is good smell, what is bad smell, this is this smell, that is… You recognize the different aspects of sound, smell, this, that, because constant recognition is happening. So this body memory, traditionally in this culture, we call this as runanubandha. That means physical memory that you build. You can either consciously build your physical memory or you can simply take in wild amounts of memory and go through lots of physical confusion. So wherever there is impact, I don't know if you still have these things, maybe in your generation is gone, but still there will be people in Bangalore city, if you ask them to… if you try to give them salt, they won't take it, they'll say, keep it there. If you try to give them sesame seeds, they will say, please keep it there. Because they have recognized many substances which can easily carry your memory and it will become mine if I take it. So I don't want to take in memory. This is the reason why generally in this culture, touching each other, shaking hands, these things are avoided. We touch our own two hands and do namaskaram because we don't want to go on picking up memory. Because if I as much as touch this memory, it remembers. You try this with 4 of your friends, you touch their hands. Don't try to consciously remember, every day touch their hands, forget about it. Tomorrow, if that person comes and touches you, you know it's this hand, isn't it? So the body remembers, it's not the mind. The physical body remembers, this is called as runanubandha. When there is a sexual interaction or there is any kind of intimacy which involves thought, emotion and body, the amount of memory that is left in your system is very big. It is from this context they said you must keep this as simple as possible. There are other aspects where in certain tantric process and all they're involving, they are preparing themselves for years to distance themselves from the body in such a way that the body doesn't pick up anything from anywhere. This is being done like a sadhana, not as sexual promiscuity. So, the question is not of morality, the question is of what is it that you want to do with yourself in your life. If you want to be in such a way that in your life, your inner intelligence will be the most dominant thing in your life, not your physical body, then you must keep the body's memory as simple as possible. This is why simple types of food, people go into very simple kind of food, not complicated. Even now, I eat 1 meal a day and I eat only 1 item in the meal. I won't eat 10. I may eat all of those things another day, but today I'll eat only 1 item because it makes a huge… Just experiment and see, don't go by what I'm saying. Just experiment and see, especially when your examination time comes, eat simple food and see what a difference it makes. for your intelligence, how it functions, how alert you are, everything. So, what is it that you're trying to build yourself to? Do you want to build yourself to be a sexual supernova or… No, I'm saying some people may have that intention, that's up to them. But what is it that you want to do with your life is something that you must decide. If you have decided that, it's very, very important that you don't unconsciously pick up enormous amount of memory, because this will lead to… Later on you will see, it'll become very difficult to remain peaceful and joyful in your life, no matter what good things may be happening. Simply because there is confusing memories in the system. When something else of similar nature comes, the body goes into a turmoil of confusion. It may not translate into your mind. Just physically, it will go on. So, it's a choice that one has to make. It's not a question of morality, it is a question of living sensibly.
Thank you so much, Sadhguru. Now we shall be entering into the social media questions that our students have been sending in. So the first question is sent in by Shivangi Sharma. Lots have been spoken or debated about feminism. Girls are doing different things in the name of feminism. Is there any meaning to feminism, or are we fighting a non-existing idea?
See, there is a meaning to equal opportunity for all human beings. You should not even consider their gender. Women should have rights, I don't like that. All human beings should have equal opportunity. And they should choose what they want to do. What a man wants to do, what a woman wants to do, it's the choice of an individual. Just thinking all women are same, all men are same is a stupid idea. The requirement is not the same, the drives are not the same, and the aspirations are not the same. So, all women be like this, all women be like that, this is a very… this is the problem. When something is going wrong, people react to that and they think they can correct it by reversing everything. Reverse is not the answer, reaction is not the answer. What you do in reaction will always lead to one kind of injustice, will lead to another kind of injustice. There are various aspects attached to this, but feminism, if you're importing it from United States, most of the feminists, they didn't live well. They talked and talked and talked, and in the end their life is empty. Not because there is no man, you don't need a man, it's your choice, okay? But the problem is constantly being in a state of reaction doesn't lead to well-being of a human being. This is one species, we should not forget this. These are not two species, this is one species. The species is made in such a way that they have to… There is only possibility to exist together. There is no other way. Question is how much need you have for the opposite gender, or you don't have need for it, that's up to individual choices. But fundamentally, there is no such thing as superiority or inferiority. Once again, this superiority business has come, or this male domination has happened in various societies, mainly because we made economics the most important thing. Money is the only value. Now, the go-getter in the family is the only value. Let me share this with you. My mother did not earn a rupee in her life, and she didn't care about earning a rupee. But can you think that family… Can you think of that family without her? Is it even a possibility? Rubbish. It's simply rubbish. That somebody thinks, oh, she didn't earn a rupee, so she must have been a slave, so she was a housewife, she worked all the time, nobody paid her. This is just stupid stuff, okay? Because money has become the greatest value. Right now in this town, if you say there is a big man, this doesn't mean he has a big body, we don't value him anymore. It doesn't mean he has a big brain, or a big heart, or big something else. No, he just has big pocket. So this has to change in the society. If money is the only value, male is the only value, I want you to understand this. Today, in the name of feminism, unfortunately, a whole lot of women are desperately trying to be like men. It's not so much in India. If you look in…
Thank you for joining us. Please share your observations on this subject in the comments, subscribe to continue our journey together, and invite others to join this path. See you soon.
With shattered hope and fury's call, he charged along to Morgoth's feet. He sounded his horn with the light so wild, like fire in the valor's breath. To Angband's gates he stormed alone, to meet his fate in glory's death. To meet his face, their fate proclaimed, his sacred blow below God's feet. He sounded his horn with a light so wild, the brazen doors were clawed in turn. Speed like thunder through the dusk, a sacrifice that fate proclaimed. His eyes aflame with a light so wild, like fire in the valor's breast. To Angband's gates he stormed alone, to meet his fate in glory's death. The sons of Pharaoh driven lost, and didn't know those grim defeats. With shattered hope and fury's call, he charged alone to Morgoth's feet. Sounded his horn with a thunderous cry, the brazen doors replied in turn, and called the Dark Lord forth to fight, with a rage that none could spurn. Under blackened skies they clash in fire, a dance of steel, a test of wills. In every blow a hero's pyre, as blood meets stone the earth stands still. The hammer fell from heights, a force of doom and boundless hate. But Fingolfin, swift as a striking hawk, evaded death, defied his fate. His silver mail and crystal shield, they glimmered bright against the dark, like a lone star's defiant light, a guide through shadows cold and stark. With every swing of Ringill's blade, the giant trembled, strength unmade, by a king who dared to stand alone, who knew the weight of choices made. 7 wounds he dealt that night, 7 cries rang out in pain, as Angband's hosts looked on in fright. They fell to earth like sudden rain. The ground, the blackened skies, they clash in fire, a dance of steel, a test of wills. In every blow a hero's pyre, as blood meets stone, the earth stands still. The ground gave way to pits of grief, beneath Morgoth's iron tread. Yet still the elven king arose, the wounds ran black, his courage bled. With one last cry he swung his blade, and healed the Dark Lord's wicked heel. The blood poured forth a burning shade, unlocked no time to the